Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, viewers of all ages. Welcome back to the channel. And if this is your first time here, just welcome. Glad you guys are here. I am super duper glad to be here as always because this is my first actual work day here in the new shop space. I have been running back and forth still all this morning. I've been here since like 6:30 or something, but we're chooching along. Chris is out at lunch. He's got a Jeep over here. Dave's over at the other shop still buttoning up a Subaru that we've got going, and I'm going to make an attempt to work on that F250 right there. Some of you folks may recognize that unit. That thing came into the shop a little over a month ago, I think, and we pulled the rear differential apart because the customer had complained of a whining noise in the rear end. We pulled the rear end apart and found a absolute catastrophic failure that had been repaired, but the repair didn't hold, and I had a chat with the owner, and what he did is went over, I think he's got an Eaton set over there. We've basically got an entire differential locker assembly in a box. We've got the bearings and the seals and the crush collars and the ring and pinion, you name it, it's all in the boxes over there, and the locking differential. So what I'm going to attempt to do is do some truck work in the shop that I did not designate for truck work, and we're going to try it here on this alignment rack right here, the ramp. The alignment machine has been removed because it was a not working and functioning machine, plus the other shop has one, so when we need to do alignments we'll just truck them on over to the other building. Anyway, this truck has this lift has a 9,000 pound capacity. It's an old school John Bean. Yeah, it's a John Bean lift. I believe Snap-on made those. But it's a 9K lift. So right there. And that truck's kind of pushing it. So what I'm going to try to do, since we are doing rear end work, I think I'm going to try to back that unit up onto these ramps here, and then we'll see if this thing has the cojones to lift the thing up. So stay tuned, because this should be a very, very good rear end rebuild performance upgrade type of video. All right, let's go ahead and fire this unit up and back it up onto the lift, and let's see if this is going to work. If this truck can be lifted by that rack, we're doing the tear down. And if it cannot be lifted by the rack, then we're going to switch gears, no pun intended, and we're going to go over there and do some diag work on that Chevy Lumina. So let's find out. Starting, this is a diesel. She's got 362,057 miles on the odometer. This thing's up there a little bit. Good truck. Auto, there we go. Let's give it the neutral shake. Reverse, there we go. Parking brake is off. Let's get her in position here. That's going to be a problem. We'll see about that. Might have to cut it off. Let's see if we're going to go up or not. What do you guys think? Is it going to do it? Moment of truth. Oh, we're doing it. She's going to do it. All right, we can do, what's this truck weigh? 6,800, 71. Anybody know the curb weight? I believe it's 2002, 2003 Powerstroke. It's a diesel, 4-wheel drive. Nervous. Let's go down the lock. Pushing the lock button. All right, we're down. She's in, it's down. Good. Good, yeah, that's a hazard right there. Oh goody, it's locked in too. So please enjoy my clever product placement available at rainmanauto.com as I fiddle with these keys that I have found in the door that may or may not be the lock key for this. Yeah, the ignition key that's in there does not have anything on it. So I'm assuming it's gotta be one of these guys. And that lock right there says Fulton on it. So if that's a master lock key, it's a no. Let's try this one here. That one does not go in, that's a no. Hey, that one says Fulton on it. Do we have a winner? Oh, gorgeous, yes we do. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Pull the pin out. And we may take this whole behemoth of a trailer hitch. And we're just gonna put this thing right over here. You stay there. Progress. So while we're here, let's make sure our locks are looking good. Where are the locks on this lift? I think that's not it. I saw them earlier. Where's the lock? I want to see if they're engaged. Ah, there it is. I see it. That's the lock right there. See a little sawtooth mark? So that lock's fully engaged. Same over there. I don't know this lift anymore. I don't trust it. It has to build its trust with me. Okay, so far so good. So we're gonna take the center jack, one of those ones. They're pneumatic, like the other lift at the other shop. We're gonna run that thing forward and get it under the rear differential. Going back in from the back side or the front side, however you wanna calculate that. So let's get under this guy. We'll lift it up probably by here and here. Then we'll pull the wheels. So I found that this hose is not charged with air pressure, even though the rack is, because the locks on this are air pressure release locks. So the rack has locks, but these hoses don't. So I had to run a new hose into it to inflate the bags here. Yeah, this is an airbag system. And what we're gonna do, put some risers in there. Maybe. Yeah, it doesn't want to come out. Okay, pry bar. A little rusty, I guess. Hasn't been used in a while. So anyway, stick some risers in there. Get under the axle. And same thing over here on the other side. Probably need to pry bar it. Get in there. Ooh, that's heavy. Okay. I'm a little nervous, not gonna lie. Picking up a heavy truck with airbags. Real quick, go in there and take a look. How's that bag looking? No dry rot, that bag looks good. Must have been replaced once, okay. Well, let's keep going up here. You guys stay here and watch that bag. How's that? Push the button. That may be all that it has for up. Nope, no, we're going, we're moving. Are we even? And do I have locks? Yeah, lock release, so it has locks, okay. We're up. I have not heard a lock set though. Let's go down and see what it does. All right, we're on a lock. Cool. Let's check it for a lock release. I Probably should have done that earlier. Nah, we're fine. Let's leave it alone. All right, air leak coming in because this thing was leaking at the end of this little hose here. There we go. Pow. So this is annoying and inefficient. Gonna have to fix that later. Not the leaky hose. The fact that I have to plumb the hose into the lift to make it work. But we'll deal with that when we get there. Let's start pulling the wheels. Let's start pulling the wheels off. We'll pull the differential cover back off, which is gonna make a mess because there's oil in there and a giant jack in the way, but whatever, we'll deal with that. Yeah, differential, brakes, wheels, and then we'll pull the axle tubes out, drive shaft, and then we'll get the differential out of there. Then we can dig out the brand new goodies in the box here. All right, 19mm socket, NASCAR. There we go. Oh, that's light. That aluminum is very minimum in its gravity. That's super light. Yeah, brand new brakes back here. All right, let's roll it on around to the other side. And pop this guy off next. That'll get us through the NASCAR moment of the day. You know, I've been moving at this pace for 12 hours a day for the past 10 days trying to get this move pulled off. I feel 10 years younger, which is weird to say. That's really weird to say. But I guess the metabolism's up, and the energy's up, and the attitude's up, and the spirits are up, and all that good stuff. So, now, we're gonna pull these brake caliper brackets out. We'll leave the caliper pads and the bracket as one unit. We'll disassemble the bracket, slap that up here on top of the leaf spring. Then we can pull the rotor. I don't have to pull the diff out to get the axles out. I can unbolt them here. This is a full floating rear axle. That's super cool. All right, so we're probably gonna spill some fluid out of this. I'm actually gonna try to do this job without taking these brakes off of here. Because if the axles pop out through the sides, then it's gonna relinquish its grasp on the rear differential, and then I can pop the diff out. If the bearings in here are junk, then we're gonna have to pull it all apart. But we're gonna cross that bridge whenever we get to it. Probably not right now. Might have to save that for the part 2. This is definitely gonna be a twofer because that was violent. This is like a 10-hour job. And I do not have 10 hours left in today's day. Nor do I have 10 hours of wrenching motivation in me. It's been a long, long week. And we only are getting started. Yeah, these bearings are junk. There's metal in there. I can see the glittery goodness from here. I went and got some gloves on. So, the way this works is our axle, right? Contrary to popular belief, that's not the axle. That is the axle housing. This is the actual axle. This thing, with its splines here, fits into the differential in the center of the axle housing. So when that axle housing turns, it's going to rotate the actual axle shaft, that's a mouthful, in which will then act on the hub through the bolts, which then turns the wheel, and that's how we drive our vehicle. So we're going to take this guy and put this aside. I usually just kind of put them way out of the way, kind of far from the location. If they stand up vertical, that's nice, but this one's not going to do it, so we're gonna put it on our built-in workbench. There we go. So let's go to the other side, driver's side next, and we will repeat procedure. Rolling, rolling, keep those roll carts rolling, boys. Ring, ring, cell phone messages. Here, you guys go over here for this one. Get in there. Look. Yo, Chris, look at this. I hope he's still alive. I almost killed him with an impact gun. Are you awake, little buddy? Are you there? Oh, he is alive. Oh, come here, man. You gotta come out of there, buddy. I know you're scared. Come on. Yeah, I don't want him falling in the bucket. Yeah, we've got to get him out of there. We can't. I almost killed him. Like, it was super close.
One bolt away.
If I put it on there, but it didn't go on straight. Like, he was right there. Okay, we got to figure out how to get him off of there. Here, hold your hand out. I'll poke him with a pencil. Yeah, you see, we can't get him to come out. Come on, bro. Oh, there we go. Don't let my daughter see him, because she will nurture him to death.
Take him home.
You gotta come off of there. Please, come on, man.
Don't go in the hole.
Yeah. Could you imagine he goes in there? There you go. Come on, keep going. Good. Yeah, let's put him out back around there. That'll be his new home. He drove all the way here.
Yeah.
Like, he must have been in there spinning in circles, getting the worst vertigo ever. There you go, buddy. You live right there. Awesome. I hope you make it.
Survivor.
He is. That's a champion right there. Could you imagine being stuck on that axle shaft driving down the road?
Man, he's cold.
He was cold. Well, I warmed him up for sure.
Oh yeah, he's nice and hot now.
Hope we didn't burn him. No, it feels good. Okay. That was awesome. You know, I found a dragonfly once caught in a huge spider web in the corner of the shop. He was making this buzz noise, and I kept hearing him smacking against the metal.
Right.
So I go to investigate the smacky noise and the buzz, and I find this huge dragonfly, and his wings are all torn up, and I mean, they're okay, but they're stuck in all the cobweb stuff, or the spider web.
Heavy.
So I got a hold of him, man, and he was all trying to fly away when I picked him up, but he couldn't because he was stuck. And I sat there and I picked off all the spider web silk from the little guy there, right? And I let him go, and he flew away. And I kid you not, man, for 3 days, that thing came back every day and landed on my shoulder and then flew away. Saw him for 3 days in a row after that. He remembered. Like, I did not have capacity to understand once that insects have a memory. But that dragonfly, he knew who I was. He was smart. I've also seen birds in mourning. You know, not the gannets, sandhill cranes?
Yeah.
Did you ever see the big sandhill cranes? I saw one day on Clark Road in Sarasota by the BMW dealership, and it had gotten run over. I saw it in the test drive, or I was on a test drive when I saw the thing, and his whole family of other sandhill cranes were gathered around him in a circle.
Trying to get him
they were all just standing there with their heads down, just pointing straight down. 8 hours later, at the end of the day, I went on another test drive. They were still standing there, like all of just in a circle around whoever died, and they all just still hung in their heads. I'm like, so these birds are in mourning for whoever died, and I did not realize and didn't have capacity to understand that birds could have that emotion. Fish don't count. I kill fish. Fish don't count though. Okay, so we're now in front of the axle. The transmission is in neutral, and we are going to remove the U-joint straps here. Not with this. Okay, we'll do this the manual method. Oh, and I put it in neutral. I don't think I've got the grip strength here to hold it. No, I certainly do not. We will use some pry bar. Unclick. Get pry bar to hold it, then we can break it loose. Yeah. No. Yeah. All right. There we go. How about now, electron gun? Yep. These, and I'll keep the bolts with the straps. Spin it around. Now you see I've got this strap right here, this nylon one. That is there, so this axle drive shaft does not fall down and conk me in the noggin, because conks in the noggins could be bad. Okay. All right, so we're good here. Let's go around to the back side of the differential and get the cover off again. Spill all the fluid, and then we'll pull the diff out. Okay, back around at the rear here. Let's start pulling bolts out. I'll leave that one in, and that one, and maybe one of these two so it doesn't leak, until we're ready to catch the fluid. And we solidly glued that back on a few weeks ago. Weird angle. It's not gonna fit. Same there. That one's good. Yeah, it's not gonna leak. We're good. Okay, two up top and one right there. Let's get this one next. Get rid of the tag. Yeah, I know. We'll do one there, and then one for its counterpart back over here. The reason those are there is when I go in here and pry this thing off, I don't want the whole thing to just pop off and dump out a whole gallon of oil in there. I'd like to crack it loose and then have these guys stop it from coming out. That way we can catch the oil and recover it without too much spillages. That's the plan anyway. It's probably not gonna work, but that's the idea. Ruh-roh. A couple minutes later and we're leaking. So just run this back in. I'm not ready yet. Not ready for the lube. All right, let's get a fluid catching type of device in here. So here's what I'm thinking. I'd like to figure out how to get this oil in this bucket without destroying it. I think what I can do is fit this thing in like so and then put the bucket down here and funnel it, but I'm going to have to clean this thing out. It's a little dirty from being used as an oil drain, so let's wash it out real quick and then we can use it to recover. And what better product to clean away some oil and gunk and sludge other than my Denko brake clean. Available, rainmanauto.com yet again. So I'm gonna hose this off. This half of it, I'm not gonna clean the other half. We're gonna hose it down, wipe it off, get rid of all the particulate matter that's in my face now. Chris, watch out, we're gonna run out of air in a second. The acetone is quite pungent.
It stings the nostrils.
So I'm gonna waste $6 worth of brake clean to try to save 60 to 80 in oil. Yep, that's the waste. All done. Very good enough. Legend has it, the can is still rolling. All right, I think that's good. So what we shall do, we'll take this guy and one of the buckets. We're gonna funnel the oil into said bucket allowing us to filter it later and recover the axle. Yeah, so this ought to be interesting. This is either gonna work or it's not. Not gonna be much room for error in between. And just to make sure, we're gonna go for maximum sketchiness here. I'm gonna have to hold that and then come in and pull the bolts. Okay, that other one, hang on, bear with me now, bear with me. Let's get our back one here. Really, we're not gonna leak now? Leaking everywhere earlier. Okay, so I came up with something here. I put this creeper under this side across the two ramps. This one's gonna fall over. But I ran it across the ramps to help support this guy right here. So now, to play my cards right, I can just come back here with a pry bar, get that guy to come loose, and we should recover this without complete disaster. Should. So let's see. I don't know, let's see if I can pull this off. It's either gonna work or it's not, right? Give it some love taps. Yeah, it's jarring around. I see you. You're gonna come off of there. Please? Now. Perhaps I should lessen the approach and... Oh, never mind. Yeah, just go in there and pry it off. Yeah, look at that oil. That's brand new. Gorgeous oil. We don't want to waste it. Okay, so I'll let that hang out and kind of drip dry. Yeah, we are going to get a little dirt in that oil. There's probably a few little metal slivers in it from running it over here earlier, but I can still run it through a filter and still use it for something. Got it. Covers off. We'll let that drain for a few more minutes, then we can go back down there and start pulling differential pieces out. Check it out. I think I found a purpose for this little cubby thing that goes inside of this little cubby thing that goes on the wall over there. I'm going to use this as the drip catch pan under there to catch those little driblets that are leaking out. That's fantastic. So let me maneuver my way under here. And I'm going to recover that bucket. It's off to the left out of frame, you guys can't see it. Slide that out, put that right there. Now all the little driblets are gonna get caught. So this guy, that thing can go over there, back in the bucket. I'll dig that out and throw it away later. So now, we can get back into the meat of this. Since the axles are out, we're gonna pull off that bolt, that one, and that one, and the whole carrier is gonna pop right out. So my ichrometer has calculated that the distance between here and this tire here is greater than the overall diameter of that ring gear. Well, I got that one backwards, didn't I? What I meant to say was the distance between the tire and the differential ring gear was smaller than the diameter of said ring gear. So we got a bit of an issue here. So what I need to do is take the spare tire out. Normally that wouldn't be a problem, but the vehicle weight is still on the suspension, so the axle springs are compressed. So what we shall do is insert this thing into the hole. There's a crank mechanism here above that spare tire. This guy is going to act on that crank mechanism and lower down our spare. So sit here and crank this guy like so. Run that thing down. Yes. Then when it's down enough, I'll get a hold of it, get it unhooked from the cable. That could have been a disaster. A disaster? Sure. That could have been bad. Yeah, bad disaster. There we go, a disaster. Job is a disaster. That's probably good. This is a good opportunity to air this spare up too. I bet you it's probably super low. Your tires will leak down between like 1 and 2 pounds per month. And spare tires never get checked because usually the valve stem is pointing upwards, so you can't get it from the bottom, so you'd have to drop the whole spare down to get access to it. This one has probably never really been on the road, or if it was a short time. It's got a lot of dry rot cracking in it on the sidewall. Steel wheel, unlike the aluminums. What's the date on it? 41 of 17. Okay, so this might have been, this has been replaced. This tire's been on the road before. I stand corrected. Yeah, I see it now. Look, let me show you. Come here, you guys. Got some edge wear here. So what I'm thinking happened on this is they got a set of tires once back in 2017, took the best one off the truck and used that for the spare. That's what happened. So here, we're just gonna park that back there. Got a little cubby hole for spare tires. Then this thing, we'll just stick it up here so it's out of my way. Put it over there. Now, we've got all kinds of room. Space for days. So, 21 millimeter on these two guys. Now, I like to treat these caps for the differentials like an engine's main bearing cap. So I wanna make sure that they both go back where I found them. Now, there are some indicator marks, little arrows on these guys, and those arrows are pointing that way. So we know the orientation of the cap. We just have to make sure we don't get them crisscrossed applesauced, because if this is the type where they end up line boring that to get the right spacing, if you get these backwards, it may put the thing out of specification and will tear up bearings. So assuming that those are in the right spot, I'm putting them back right where they came from. That felt like 89 foot-pounds of torque. I don't know if that's actually the spec or not. So just like the cover, we're gonna put that back so it can't fall out and scratch the paint on the floor. Throw those in there. Yep, she started walking out. So this side, I will just keep it over here. And then this side, I'll keep it over here. Kind of a loose fit. These are shimmed. Shims here and shims here to put some preload on it. That's pretty loose. I wonder if they're not shimmed very accurately. I keep the shims in the same side as well. Okay, we got a bearing race coming out with some shims. Oh, this is heavy. This is heavy. This is heavy, and I'm sitting down. It's slippery. Oh. Okay.
Time for coffee. Let's see what he's up to. You got that? Oh.
This is heavy.
That looks heavy.
It is heavy. I'm dehydrated.
Well, coffee doesn't really hydrate you,
Yes,
but
it
it'll
does.
give you more energy.
It's made out of water and energy. That's
Ew.
nasty.
Yeah, that's gross. Bye-bye. Here you go.
Thanks, honey.
Welcome.
Appreciate you. Okay, now what do I do?
I don't know.
I'm gonna replace this thing. It's broken.
Okay. It doesn't look broken.
It's very broken. I like a lot. Let's see what this new unit looks like. Like I mentioned, it's an Eaton limited slip. This is a limited slip, but it has clutches in it. I believe this Eaton unit is a gear style. The bag was torn. There's dirt in there from, looks like cardboard. To wash this off. And not much to see because it's mostly a sealed looking unit. Yeah, there's a gear right there. See another piece of it there. So there's a series of helix gears inside of there. Okay. Well, we'll get to that thing later. So in the other box, we have more parts. We have, here's the overhaul kit. Looks like that came from Yukon Gear. This should contain all the bearings, shims, and crush washer. Yep, got bolts for the ring and pinion, crush sleeve, seal, nut, Loctite, rear end paint, shims. There's our bearings and a gasket for the rear differential. We don't need that. So that's our bearing rebuild kit. We will need this also later. Put that off to the side. And then in here, there's another box. This must be the ring and pinion. Motive gear. Okay. Let's see here. Aha! Beautiful. And there's our ring and pinion right there. You guys remember that last video on this? See the marks? That's from the other pinion failing and falling out of the front of the differential carrier case housing and ramming into the side of this guy, chopping it all to pieces. So that's going away. This ring gear is going away. It's all going away. So I'm noticing something here. We have this little this trigger wheel for the rear wheel speed sensor, right, which is going to be located in the differential housing up on the top. As the teeth go past that sensor, as this rotates, it interrupts a magnetic field, and that is what tells our ECU what the speed is. It just counts the interruptions, and we do not seem to have that wheel on the back of this ring gear. So I think that is able to come off of this ring gear. I don't think they're built as one unit. So let's disassemble this differential carrier right here real fast to see if I can get that apart, because we may actually have the wrong gear set if those are built in, or if they're spot welded on.
So let's pull these guys out. There's a lot of them. Loctite in there. That one can stay. That one can stay.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, put these two bolts in, thread them down a couple, 2, 3, 4 turns or whatever, and we're going to impact these with a hammer to try to drive this ring gear off of the housing. Working? I think so. Yeah, we're not ruining threads. That's cool. Yeah, it's coming off. We're getting a gap here. That's good. Bottomed out. Unclicks. Okay. I'm gonna have to try this again. Do like 2 turns. Or whatever. Yep. It's moving. I just don't want to damage the threads. I know the part's ruined. I think that was it. Yep. Stripped at the finish line on that one. Okay. So that's our old ring gear. Going in the trash. And I think that this is part of the whole differential. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. If it's gonna come off, it'll come off, and if it's not, if it doesn't come off, then it's part of it. I think it's gonna come off. Tappy tap. Sweet. It's been recovered. Yep, so that's gonna hopefully slide over the other differential. So let me dig that back out of the box and test fit it to make sure that these parts are going to work here. So we've got like this little step machined into this, so it can only go on so far. And over here on the diff, we've got a notch taken out of it. I'm assuming that's to accommodate this little tab right there. You see that guy? So we put this thing, make sure there's no dirt in there. Debris. Cannot have debris messing up our alignment. I'm gonna try that. I think it fits. Winner, winner. All right, yep, we're good. That fits, so this is the correct part so far. I'm happy with it. Now we can proceed. Let's finish the pinion removal over at the differential, and then we'll get back after all this stuff later on. All right, time for the pinion nut next. We're going down below. I've got the Ear Pro on because it's loud and rattly down here, and I'm in a confined space where all the sound waves may reverberate back into my cranium. Yeah, it's gonna work. I need to hold it and do this. Okay. I believe I'm going to need a puller to yank this guy off. Okay, I'm going to shortcut this though. If I can drive this pinion out from right here, I don't know what that was, steel in my face. If I can drive the pinion out, this thing will just fall right off. It might work. It's gonna go. Aha! Got it. Nice. So, crawl under here. There she comes. That's it. Alrighty. Okay, so in the front of this differential housing here, we've got one race for our pinion bearing, and then up here in the front, there's the front pinion bearing and the other race. So we've got the air hammer here. We're just going to tap this race and send it forward. It's going to take the seal and the bearing with it. I just have to make sure that I don't gouge up the case with my anvil / chisel. So I'm giving it a bit of an angle upwards to keep it away from the cast iron. So let's give this some love taps and walk it out. Loud noises. That's the bearing in the seal. There goes the race. So now I'm going to go around to the other side and we're going to hammer out this race right here. That's the big one. So bear with me while I crawl around. All these brand new parts. Feel bad. Okay, coming in. Ding, fries are done. Ding, fries are done. Would you like an apple pie with dinner? Alrighty, well, at this point we are fully disassembled with the exception of the wheel bearings on the end. I am going to pull one of those bearings apart and take a look at it. Probably the outers, we'll check those out first. But I am going to pull a bearing apart. Reason being is if we see right up here by the magnet on this wheel speed sensor, we've got some metal that has collected on it. So if it made its way all the way up there, it stands to reason it made its way down the tubes, and we're probably gonna have to put bearings in that as well. As for the differential over here, I'm going to need to get my press to press those bearings onto this carrier, and the press is still at the other shop. So I'll make a field trip in the morning with a trailer to fetch the press and all the goodies that I need. Then we can get everything unboxed. We will, like I said, press the bearings on, bolt the ring gear to this guy, set the pinion up, and we'll have to press the pinion bearing on the pinion as well. And then we have to begin the arduous task of shimming it and spacing it, and then checking clearances and whatnot. So we'll be doing that on part 2. This is the part 1 video of this little 60 Ford rebuild axle series. Let me know what you think about this endeavor in the comment section down below. Do not forget to engage that like button while you're down there. That helps out the channel and the algorithm, and that's what lets YouTube know that it should recommend my content to other potential viewers, and that's good for me. It's also good for them. So again, and as always, and in closing, thank you guys one more time for watching this video. I will see you on the next one. And before I go, I must remind each and every one of you to not forget to have yourselves a fantastic day. See you guys later in a video, in a Ford, in a day, in a transmission.